What's going on, people? Welcome back to another video. Now, Chelsea 3, Wolverhampton 0. Now, we did it, people. We did it. Now, we're going to talk about the game. But I want to say something before we get into the game, right? Now, before this match, I was worried. And if you're a Chelsea fan, you understand why I would be worried coming into this game. You understand why. Because it tends to happen that Chelsea, when we play small teams or teams you would think on paper we're supposed to win, we tend to shit the bed every time. But then when we play against Liverpool, Man City, that's when we want to put on performances. Bayern Munich, even though we ended up losing that game, but we do tend to put performance. PSG, whenever we play a team that we are likely to lose, on paper. So today, I was so worried. We just did the same thing against Karabakh during the week. So today I was like, okay, Arsenal dropped point, United dropped point, Tottenham dropped point, City and Liverpool are yet to play tomorrow. One of them is obviously going to drop points, if not two of them. So this is the time, Chelsea, for us to actually pick up 3 points, and then we go on to play Burnley, and then go on to play Arsenal, and then we keep the gap as close as we can. So I was so worried, but let me say this, right? There was a reason why I was worried, and you could see. You could see from the first half. The first half was terrifying. It was dead. It was concerning. Like, there were so many things I could have picked up there and say, listen, I don't want us to play like this, because I was getting worried. Because I know Chelsea, it is so Chelsea for us to have lost points or even to lose the game at home to Wolverhampton. Now, first half, it was so dead. The way they were defending, we couldn't find that line-breaking, pass to, be able to break in their defense line and actually create something and to score something. Now, don't get me wrong. We did create a little bit of chances, maybe 1 or 2 in the first half, which we should have buried or we could have buried, but we didn't bury those chances. So now, we kept trying to break these low blocks that they were playing. We just couldn't do it. Then we go on to halftime. Mind you, I'm still worried. And at this point, I'm like, nah. I can't settle for a draw. I need you boys to go on and score some goals. But it's a problem for Chelsea anyway. Every time we play a team that plays a low block, we tend to struggle a lot. We tend to struggle so much. So it made sense why I was so concerned about this game. Now, come on second half. We actually started using our wingers better. We kept giving the ball to Pedro Neto, which we're going to talk about him for a second, because I do think that it's time he's come off the bench. Anyway, there were times we kept trying the second half, giving the ball to our wingers, giving the ball to Garnacho, Neto. We wasn't trying to go through the middle, because we tried that in the first half with Fofana and Chalobah trying to drive through João Pedro. We just couldn't do it. So we were trying to use more for our wingers, but then again, it didn't work up until Garnacho did his magic, which I'm also going to talk about him in a second. And then we ended up getting a goal. Now, from that point on, the game was a little bit open, because Wolves were starting to come out a little bit more to attack, looking for a goal or an equalizer themselves. And then from that point on, now I was less worried. Don't get me wrong, I was still worried because I wanted us to go and score the second goal. But I was less worried. Why? Because I knew that from that point on, if Wolves can start to come out and actually trying to score a goal themselves, that gives us the opportunity to get space and to attack. And every time we play a team that is willing to attack or bring the game to us, we tend to play better. I'm always worried for low blocks. So then at that point, the game is now flowing. It became a little bit of a basketball game up until we scored the second goal. Shout out to my boy Esteval. Again, I'll speak about him in a second. But we got our second goal. And then from that on, you could tell Wolves were just not doing anything that was, getting us worried. At that point on, I'm starting to smell the 3 points. I'm starting to smell the 3 points. But yeah, I'm not going to be a hypocrite on this one. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I'm going to actually give credit to Garnacho. Listen, I haven't held my hands up yet, because I still have some doubts when it comes to him. It's too soon. But I'll say this. I never wanted him in my club. I never wanted, even when we were just linked with him, I was so sickened by those news. I didn't want Garnacho at my club. But today, fair enough. He had proved me to some degree wrong. He played really well. I mean, it's against Wolves, but either way, he still played well. 2 assists today. Now, it wasn't just about the assist. It was also when he was dropping deep to get the ball recoveries, him anticipating some runs into the box and trying to actually take on his men. But the bottom line is he actually played well today. And he was one of the best players on the pitch today. Now, I'm going to move to the next best player on the pitch today. I'm going to talk about Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez, right? When he's good, he's good. When he's bad, he's just bad. But today, I have to give him credit. I think this season, actually, since the back end of last season, or if not the whole season last season, he actually played really, really well. And coming into this season, he's doing the same exact thing. Now, my third best player that I want to give shout out to is going to be my boy, Estevao. Listen, I know a lot of people are crying for this guy to start, but I can understand the reasons why he is not being started, or just basing on what Maresca said in his press conference. I don't mind him not starting, but I'm also going to a point where I'm now questioning, maybe we should actually put Pedro Neto on the bench, because this guy has been starting game after game and is not really giving us that end product. I expected Pedro Neto to do more. I know he scored a goal today and we loved it. But I'm still asking for more better crosses in the box. Try to get those assists by putting the ball into the box. Take on your man. You are one of the fastest players on the pitch in the Premier League. Try to actually race your guy and try to beat them. Put a pause on that one. But you get my point. So yeah, I think Estevao, I mean, it's an argument I can hear from both ends. If you want him to start, I can understand why. But at the same time, if he's coming from the bench and still doing this, I can also understand why. Maybe at the moment, all we need to do is to get him off the bench, and that's fine. I don't see any problem with that. But yeah, man, I just want to shout out to my team. I didn't think Castro had a good game. I didn't think João Pedro had a good game. It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't as compared to when he gets played as a 9. I think you saw that he's better off being played as a 10, because now you can get him more on the ball. He can win those fouls. So, and he can link up play as well. Taking some shots, maybe not as good as we saw today. Again, he scored a goal, so I have to shout out to him. Second goal in 2 goals in 2 matches. 2 or 3, I'm not sure. 2 or 3, don't quote me on that one. But the bottom line is, we won the game today, 3 points on. Keep picking up points until we get to play the Arsenals and the Man Cities of the world. But even then, you still have to go there and try to pick up points. But yeah, man, shout out to us. Chelsea 3 points today. I'm out.